Joburg, episode 6.
Gunshots on a gun, nothing wanna be. Guilt trip, these drugs are inside of me. This is not where I wanna be. This is not who I wanna be. In these words I speak today.
5, 4, 3, dose.
Microphone checker, swinging sword lecture, closing down the sector, supreme neck protector. Better warn him, kid, Mr. Master, bowling pop, about to blow his lid from the pressure. Too hot for TV, for cheesy, too many wanna be hard, be easy. Oh, boy. You know, here we are. Too hot for TV, so we're doing this on the internet. That was a verse by none other than the great Method Man from the Blackout album. Check it out. The song is Rock Wilder. You know, we like to turn you on to new music, old music, good music, and we even mock the bad stuff. But you know what? Oh my God, I want to start again. I'm gonna start again. Hold on.
Oh my God.
I don't want to do that.
Clown.
I don't want to rap. I'm just gonna say welcome. This is episode 6, right? Is it episode 6?
I do have a funny Rock Wilder story though.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have a very funny story.
All right. Well, let's do the intro and then we'll get into that.
Yeah. Do it. Or just keep it. Keep this. This is great. This is good podcasting.
Is it?
I think so.
Just
Executive decision. Boom. We're rolling.
All right, fuck it. Let's keep it. Leave it in. People want the raw stuff. You know what I'm gonna say too? I'm gonna say
they want the real.
You know what? We'll start real because I was gonna shave this little mustache situation I got going on for this podcast, and I said, fuck it, leave it. The people want all of our beautiful faces in HD. All of our imperfections are what make us perfect, because there is no such thing as imperfections, only humanity and blah blah blah. You know, what a start. But this is what people like. They like the raw stuff. We're giving them the raw stuff. Oh great, my phone just fell. Jesus Christ.
Leave it. It doesn't matter.
No, I'm putting it.
It's great. People won't see it. Maybe I'll add that. Maybe you send me that video. Oh, it's not recording, right?
No, it's not recording, but here it is. This is probably
great.
Our shakiest intro so far, but how many episodes are we in now? This is episode 6?
This is episode 6, yeah.
All right, episode 6. So what? So we got a little loosey-goosey. We'll tighten up next week.
And for those that don't know, me and Joel, we record on cameras, but we talk to each other via Skype. So you don't hear the wonky Skype, connection. You're connected with a video camera, but we're connected with Skype, and his Skype camera just fell over when all that was said. You didn't see it, but I did. I saw Joel go, whoa.
They saw my dumb face go near the camera to fucking fix it. But yeah, we're fucking, look at us. I already upgraded a little bit. I got a boom stand. I listened to the cries of people saying, get this man a mic stand. I got myself a mic stand. Here I am. Bam, doing it. Now I started out, rapping the Rock Wilder. Let's hear. You said you got a funny Rock Wilder story. Okay,
I'll tell the story, but first,
before we start, all right. I'm your host.
Okay, before we start, what?
Welcome to Mostly Sorry Podcast. I'm your host, Joel Jimenez, and
AKA,
I'm here as always with
AKA
the Platinum Chihuahua, AKA MC Boomstand, AKA got a new microphone on the way being delivered today. And I'm always here, as always, with my co-host, producer / friend, most importantly, David Deary. David, how are you doing today? And let's let that lead us into this Rock Wilder story.
I'm doing great. I feel good about life. Things are good. I will tell the Rock Wilder story, but before I do, I'd like to just ask you. I want to keep the. People know how this podcast is formatted. They know. They're probably just tuning in right away to find out how you're doing, Joel. So let's start it off how we always started off, with the Mental Health Minute. How you doing, Joel?
Oh, I was a little rough today, but did some meditation. I feel better now. I was a little bit funky. I did this thing. I took 2 weeks off of drinking. I didn't drink for like 14 days. Just because when this quarantine started, it was so easy to fucking drink every day because we're just fucking trapped. So, it got a little tiring and I was like, let me fucking do a little bit of a detox. So I was off for about 2 weeks. And then last night I had 2 glasses of wine. Very small, but I did realize like how because I took a break or maybe now I just have perspective. I realized like how much that affected me today. Like when I woke up, I was real thinky, and I think maybe that comes from dehydration. Like I didn't have enough water. Maybe I don't know. It wasn't enough to be hungover, but I felt a difference in my psyche. Even just after 2 glasses of wine. So it's interesting, dude. It was just it was a trip. And then I've also I noticed last night, you know how like people do basically if they have like autoimmune stuff, they'll do that carnivore diet, which is like they'll cut everything out. They'll just start with that, and they'll see like how much those other things. When you have a clean slate, you could see how things affect you better. So I think that my clean slate from not drinking really enabled me to see how my body reacts to alcohol sometimes, and I think that I've noticed that sometimes it can make me more thinky, where I thought it was sort of it'll alleviate a bit of the anxiety, but then I realize I'll go like I'll just start analyzing a little bit too much, and I realized like last night it definitely made me very analytical. So I don't know. So that's not to say like I'm not like I'm just I guess I'm trying to figure out I'm just trying to figure out how these different things that I do affect me, and being conscious of everything that I'm sort of like putting into my body, or the words that I'm releasing and my thoughts and stuff. I'm just being a little bit more analytical, but I definitely noticed how I felt today was different. I also didn't sleep well. I haven't been able to sleep well the last 2 nights. And I was taking ZQuil and edibles and stuff, and I think maybe since I was taking ZQuil too much that it stopped working really effectively. I've been having crazy fucking dreams and weird sleep patterns, just waking up, falling asleep. So 2 things. Being dehydrated, which is definitely a side effect of alcohol, and not sleeping well is also a side effect of that, and I just have bad insomnia, so that will lead me to a day where I feel just a little fuzzy. So today I've been a little bit out of it. I don't know. So I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I generally sleep well, but if I don't sleep well, my days can be ruined. Sometimes I'll just feel incapable of doing anything if I don't get enough sleep. I sleep a lot.
Yeah.
I like to sleep. I sleep a lot.
Man, I love
don't
that.
know.
That sounds. I'm super envious of that. I fucking, it's weird. I also like. A lot of it was I saw Van Corona today. Our buddy is a photographer for Kill Tony. I went to pick up the camera from his house, and we were talking a little bit, and I was like, sometimes I'm a little nervous to mention stuff like about like anything that's maybe a little bit too honest, where I'm like, and also there is this very fine line of like talking about how things affect you, where if I start to talk about how like alcohol affected me last night, like and maybe this is just me in the moment right now, and maybe I guess I don't want to speak on it because I'm worried that maybe next month I'll have a different perspective, and you'll fucking or whatever catch me on tour having a wild night where I'm doing fucking fireball shots or something, and then but I just want to like always be honest and sort of talk about where I'm at in the moment. So today because I took a break, I realized more the chemical effect on my body of how I'm feeling today, more than I definitely at this point in my life don't think that it's a problem for me, but I am noticing how certain chemicals are affecting my brain and stuff like that. So I just want to be honest
Yeah,
and sort of
it has an effect. Yeah, I mean, that is what it is.
yeah, but
Everyone
I
knows
guess I
that.
want to reserve the right to like
To
feel
drink and get fucked up.
yeah, or to feel different next month or whatever.
Right.
But
That's fine.
right now what I'm figuring out is like because I noticed it fucking with my chemistry is like I'm trying to figure out when drinking how that fits into like a healthy lifestyle or how it fits into not feeling like shit the next day or whatever. Like what I've noticed is like if I drink too late in the day, then that's like a bad thing. I'm finding like maybe like 2 glasses of wine at 5, and then I hydrate, go to bed or whatever. I'll feel better the next day. I guess I'm for lack of a better term, and I say that so many times on this show, is I'm figuring out how to be an adult, I guess, and or just a good human being. And I guess we all figure out these systems and these ways of living that end up working for us.
I
so
mean,
I
we
don't
try.
know.
I don't think anyone really gets there, but no one's
Yeah.
perfect. But you try.
Yeah, so I'm trying
Yeah.
right now, and I guess it's all come from meditation. I'm on day 15 of the Waking Up course, and it's really sort of had me paying attention to everything I'm doing in my life, I guess, and
Have you skipped any days? Have you done 15 days in a row?
yeah, I've done 15 days in a row. I
Wow,
haven't skipped
I
any
don't
days.
I don't think even in the 1 or 2 years that I've had the app, I don't even know how long I've had it, but I don't think in the entire time I've had the app I've done 15 days in a row. That's crazy. I think I'll miss a day. I'll usually miss a day or two here or there.
Yeah,
Generally not 2, but yeah.
I feel now
That's
like
great.
I
15
really
days in a row.
need it, so I've been sort of I enjoy it. Like yesterday I was going to almost miss it, but I was like, nah, I should take 11 minutes and do this. It's only 11 minutes. It was like,
Right.
it's I don't know, I really liked it. So yeah, so I've been doing it, but it's really definitely caught me. I've been very conscious of everything I'm doing. Maybe food is a little out there. I've kind of been just eating garbage. The other night I had a ice cream sandwich in bed at like 1 a.m. in the morning in the dark, like a fucking. I'll say like
Whatever. That's nothing. Don't. I mean, come on, man. Like don't give too much away. You're a rock star. You wear a purple dildo. You do
That's right.
backflips off drum kits. People are gonna be disappointed that you're upset that you ate a fucking ice cream sandwich in bed. You know what I mean?
I
People
mean, fuck,
expect-
but that's the real shit, dude. It's like
I
it's
know.
Like,
I know.
It's sure I'm fucking out
But you're
there.
gonna have to paint. You're gonna have to put on a character at some point and let people know that you definitely stick things up your ass and all that stuff. Whatever.
I mean, yeah, that goes without
You're an
saying,
animal.
man. Yeah,
You're an animal, Joel. You're an animal. You go nuts. You fucking you snort sugar, and you fucking you freebase donuts or whatever.
Well, this
you do. I don't know.
this goes back to what we were talking about good look. It's like I'm really trying to strip all that shit away, man. The more I kind of look into it, the more, and I'm still sort of vain. Like I still want to look cool at times, but that's why like today I was fucking with the camera angle like so that you couldn't see like a fucking double chin or whatever. I'm like I have these things that I still do, like whatever, like people would be like,
Right.
shut up, like you're skinny, but I have these things that I'm doing, and I'm trying to stop doing these fucking things. I'm trying to stop caring. I was like, I need to shave. There have been times where like I want to shower and like change my outfit before doing the podcast because I want to present this thing of how I look. And the more I think about it, that stuff matters so little to me now. Or that I think in the grand scheme of things, I think the importance of looking cool is so useless to other things that we could be doing in the world, So, but yeah, so day 15, meditating. And I want to, today for me is just sort of a reset day. It's like, hey, I'm just resetting and sort of, I'm learning the importance of resetting and stuff like that. That's the last minute usually of these meditations, is just for the last minute reset and start again. And so today's a fucking new day, man. I'm starting again. I definitely have tools now, dude, to like. I noticed yesterday I locked my keys in my car, and I think I dealt with the situation way better than I would have in the past. I still sort of got to a level that I didn't want to get, but then later on I was like, okay, next time I'm gonna try to do better in that moment.
What'd you do? How'd you lock them in your car? That's funny.
I went. You're gonna make fun of me. I went to IKEA again yesterday.
Jesus Christ.
I know, and I got a story about that too. But so I went to IKEA, and I'm just I'm wearing these shorts, but I think my keys just slid out of my pocket because they were in the car seat exactly where they would have been had they fallen out of my pocket. Although now that I think about it, they couldn't have fallen. Maybe I took them out of the thing, put them in my pocket, and then they fell. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Anyway, they were on the seat. So I came out, and I was like it was already, it's a mission, dude. You go to IKEA, you got to wait in this fucking line 6 feet apart from everybody. And I heard this guy, he's a neuromarketing scientist. He was saying that one of the highest stress points for human beings is a retail environment. And so it's crazy because it's kind of exhausting, man. Like looking at stuff, like you're walking around, and then throw Corona into that shit. You're highly there. So I was proud. We got in there, we got out. I was like, all right, it was easy breezy. It was a lot easier than I thought. We're walking to the car, and then I go, where are my keys, dude? And I first thought was I dropped them in the store somewhere. But then I walked over to the window of the car, and I was like, all right, at least they're there. Called up my dad because he has a key to the same car, but he couldn't drive to me. And so he's like, hit up AAA. And I was like, all right, luckily I have AAA, which if anybody fucking doesn't out there, I think it's fucking super worth it if you can afford it. But my last experience with AAA was like waiting an hour for them to get to me. So I was like, fuck. But I called. The guy was there in like 12 minutes. He was like, during the pandemic has really slowed their calls that they get. So he was like, I was maybe his fourth call of the day. And he was there in 12 minutes. Got into my car, got out of there. So overall, super fucking easy experience. But for a little moment, I went to that place in my mind of like, fuck, man, like what the fuck?
Where do you go? You go to self-hatred or do you go to anger? Where do you go?
I think maybe I go self-hatred because the problem with that is not self-hatred.
Like you start blaming yourself. Like, what the fuck? Why did you do that?
Yeah, and it's because I've been in that situation like a numerous amount of times, and I'm like, here we are again. You think I'd learn by now, but but whatever. Anyway, it was easy breezy. But my story about IKEA real quick was there was a guy in the line, didn't have a mask on, right? Everybody's got a mask on. And I saw him handing paperwork to one of the IKEA employees. They were like looking at it. And the funny part about it was like this guy had an American flag tattoo on his arm, the American flag shirt and a hat. And he was just like this spitting image of these dudes who are like, you're infringing on my rights. Like, I don't know what his story was. From what I've heard, I don't give a fuck what paperwork he was handing the guy. I've heard like doctors and other people say none of that shit is real. Like those cards people are carrying about whatever. Like it's not even like a legit thing. But yeah.
Also, how could it be infringing on your rights any more than telling someone they have to wear a shirt or telling someone they have to cover their tits or telling someone they have to wear shoes? I mean, if the mask is infringing, then everything's infringing, right? It's just another piece of clothing that's, unfortunately, I don't know, man. I don't care that much. I mean, I just don't see why people care that much. Just put the fucking mask on. Who gives a fuck? I mean, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. You know what else sucks? No live comedy. That sucks. No live comedy.
I know, man. My quick little sidebar. My girlfriend works at a wine store, and one day, like, somebody came to the window to buy wine, and they were like, this just isn't an ideal way to shop. And she was like, this isn't an ideal way for me to work, dude. Like, what do you think? Do you know there's a pandemic going on? But anyway, this guy was like,
it could get so much worse too, man. Like honestly, it could get bad. When you look at Ebola or something like that, it could just, this is hopefully this is the last pandemic we'll ever see in our lives. But if it's not, it wouldn't surprise scientists.
Yeah.
It could be. I'm not trying to be I know people get on me. Like, Donnell fucking hates when I start talking realistically and, like,
Yeah.
everyone just calls me Negative Nancy, but it's
no.
It's
I
just
get
reality,
it.
man.
I listen to you. I am of the, and this is weird because some people might think it's like ignorant, but I just tend to not even think about those things because it'll cripple me, I think. But whatever.
Yeah, but you also do the base minimum. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying
For sure.
I'm not saying everyone has to give up eating chickens because, there's a chance of salmonella, but you should know to not put meat on your cutting board and then put vegetables on your cutting board. I mean, people know that.
I'm with you,
right?
man. Yeah, for sure.
Why do they believe that? Why do they believe that? Is it a hoax? Is it, dude, science we've been using vaccines for almost 100 years. It's just like pandemics have been a thing. It just hasn't touched American soil. We've been lucky. We've been really lucky. There's been SARS, MERS, Ebola.
My favorite rappers there, dude. Those are all great rappers, dude.
Dude, swine flu. Dude's
MC
a beast.
Swine Flu. You did say MERS.
Why are you going to fucking Yeah, MERS is great. Shout out to MERS, man. I was on tour with MERS before. He's the man.
Well, so what I was gonna say is like
That's
this guy at IKEA. You might want to pick up those names you just dropped. This guy was just a walking like stereotype of like this, and then he had the fucking the hands-free earpiece, like the one that just goes on the one ear like a thing. The weird thing was his wife and his kid had masks on, so I don't know.
Seen that so many fucking times. I've seen so many times couples and their kids walking. The woman has a mask, the kids have masks, and the dude doesn't.
Yeah,
it's a dude thing.
Yeah, it's weird, but one thing I did notice was he seemed like he was already at a 10 emotionally. Like he was ready for like if somebody was going to be like, "Yo, where's your mask?" He was like ready for the shits, like, and I just didn't like it. I don't know. Part of me in my mind sort of, I don't know his paperwork. Who knows what the fuck it could have been, right? But
his fucking paperwork.
I'll give him that. I'll throw that out there just as a human being that I'm gonna let that I didn't know what the paperwork said, but part of me was like lost a little bit of respect for IKEA as a spot because I thought they should have said, "Yo, you can't come in, man."
Oh,
but
they let him in?
They let him in, man. There was a sign there that said like, if you're not wearing a mask, you need to talk to one of the people that work here, whatever, explain your situation and whatever the paperwork. I think they just didn't want the fucking smoke at that moment. Yeah, because he seemed like,
I'm gonna bring him paperwork that says my dick needs to breathe, man. I cannot have it in pants. I just can't.
I know.
My doctor told me it's really bad for my wiener, man. My wiener gets dried out.
Yeah. I feel like this has been one of the rawest podcasts that we've had so far because, that's another thing I've been struggling with is like, and I used to struggle with that on stage where like if my first joke didn't hit, I was like, oh fuck, like it was an uphill battle where now I feel like I want to just let that go and sort of just stay in the moment. And so part of me right now is in my head running laps going like, we need to start this shit over. We need to re-record this. But I'm trying to be better about just letting it go, man.
Well, let us know in the comments. Definitely leave a lot of negative comments if this was the worst podcast.
Fuck all that, man. Fuck all that. I've been super proud, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat and stuff because we've been keeping it positive, man. Like, dude, I'm so sick of fucking negativity at this point. It's like that's something that bugs me every day, man.
Go off, King. Get it. Go off.
God, man. Like, I get it, dude. Like, I'm just so sick of like. Dude, people are just, and it's not even like, I don't think everybody's mad about something. I think everybody's ready to just like shit on stuff. Like, when was the last time a movie came out where people were like, I like that? Every single thing that comes out, man, people are ready to hate on everything. And it's like, how about just fucking, instead of hating on something, why don't you go make something? Like, go make something, man. Like, it's, and I agree with both sides, but I remember this woman that I knew who she was like this like basically like a medicine woman from Veracruz in Mexico. I used to go to these like healing ceremony things she used to do back in the day, but she told me one time that it was better to be pro peace than anti-war. And I was like, that's not you can also be anti-war. I think both things can exist, but I dug her perspective on that. I thought that was really sort of.
I think what she's saying is like, it's as much effort to take to be a positive force in this world than to try to stop negative forces, because if enough people are positive, it tips the scale and everybody just because so many majority of people are just followers, so you're trying to stop this huge group of hatred and they're just mostly following a few people. And so instead, if you give them something to follow, if you be a beacon of positivity, then, it's easier.
Yeah,
it's as much effort. That's all she's saying,
Yeah, and what's crazy too is like it's just as much effort for that, but what takes more effort is to be negative. It's like that takes the most effort. Like I used to go hiking and I would try to at least like smile or nod at everybody that I saw, and there were people actively like ignoring me. Like I was like, you realize it takes way more effort to fucking to mean mug or to look away than to just like smile at people. But anyway. But
I'll be honest. I like a little bit of hatred in my life. I need a little tiny bit. I need a little taste. I'm not.
I agree.
I don't publicly shame people generally. I don't shit on people, but I will, behind closed doors, I will hate.
I got a funny story for you.
I hate shit.
I got one night, I found myself, and I do it too. There are things that I just hate like inside because some part of it feels good to sort of burn a little bit, but one night I was like, you know what I hate, man? I hate when people hold their fork. Like when people, this is so mindless and stupid. When people are cutting a steak with their fork and then they put the fork in their mouth like upside down, like it's this weird. Instead of like they do this like thing with the fork,
where the bend is like up.
Where the bend is.
Because of the way they're cutting the steak,
they
cut it
and then they put the fork
around.
So this is the fork, like curved like this, right?
Yeah,
you put
it's curved.
In there, you're cutting it, and then you put the fork in your mouth like that. So I went on this whole that night just to get mad. I Googled like fork upside down eating steak and was like looking at like stock photos of people holding it like that, just fuming in my brain. It's so dumb, dude. But I
hate when comedians hold the mic like this.
That's something too. I know, and there's a lot of great comics that do it too, man. And I'm like, whatever.
Nah, fuck you. I mean, I know. I think Louis started. I don't even really know who started. I know Louis was the first person that I saw leaning on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't care about comedy. I'm just going to lean on this wall and like do jokes. And then I saw everybody doing that. And I don't really know who started this one, but
yeah.
I don't get it. It really
it's a funny, it's funny cuz like me and you are both sort of like I think we're both into like aesthetics, just coming from skateboarding or stickering your board or graffiti or whatever the fuck, but like, or painting, or there's something about a certain aesthetic, and that aesthetic to me is it in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's different.
What it is for me? This is it for me. This is a huge one in my life. If you're the first person to do that, I love it. Yeah. If you're just doing it and you start to see everybody do it, and then you notice that they're doing it and you're like, you weren't the first person to do that. You're just doing that because you saw someone else do that. And I know that's everything in life.
Yeah.
But when it's like so direct, I fucking hate it. It's like, I'm just like, imitate people far away imitate people shamefully like you're supposed to.
Oh yeah. I've always said that, like, I love a band, like, if I hear a band that sounds like another band and they're like, nah, we keep getting that thing, I'm like, shut up. I much more respect somebody who's like, yeah, we were trying to be the Ramones on our first album, or like, yeah, I wanted to be just like Big Daddy Kane, or like fucking, yeah, when I first started out, I was doing fucking Chris Rock, that's all I knew, whatever. That to me, I'm like, hell yeah, like fucking cool. I accept that, but when people are like try to fight it, I think that they're like, methinks thou dost protest too much, So there's that, but
It's like if you're a comic and you get your inspiration, like I'm not talking about inspiration to be a comedian, but like what you wear and like what you joke about in the cadence. If you get it from another comedian, that's biting. You got to get it from like actors or films that you like. You got to go away so people don't know exactly where you're getting it from, right? I mean, I don't know.
Takes me
That's
back.
the way I see it.
Takes me back to the Rockwilder when he says, we don't condone biting.
Right. All right.
Protecting what I'm
for me.
writing.
So-
Don't clash with the Titan. Who blasts with a license? All right. Now I want to hear your
do you think
Rockwilder
you
story.
Okay, this is gonna be. I'm gonna challenge you because this is all about the lyrics to the Rockwilder.
Okay.
Do you think you could rap Method Man's verse all the way through without hearing Method Man? Like if I just put the beat on, do you think you could rap his?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Man. Yeah, it's
so
hard.
Here's the story. I was at a corporate event, and it was a small event, and it was. I don't need to say who put it on, but it was a big, one of those corporations trying to be cool. Yeah, I don't want to give them a free commercial, but,
Pepsi.
It was someone, it was like that. It wasn't Pepsi, but it was like that, might as well have been them, whatever. And they had Redman. They had Redman performing, and it was like, dude, I swear there was like 200 people.
I already know where this is going, dude.
Exactly. So at the end of the show, he goes, yeah, my man Method Man's not here, so I'm going to do the Rockwilder. I'm going to do my verse, and then we're all going to do Method Man's verse. And there's no lyrics, And it was a small crowd, And at these corporate events, not everybody's like in front of the stage. And even me, a huge fan of hip hop, I love that song. I own that song. I don't know all the lyrics, And then and then most of the other people have no idea the lyrics. And it was a disaster. It was so embarrassing. Everyone was embarrassed. I think Redman was embarrassed. The crowd was definitely embarrassed. I was embarrassed for him. I was just kind of slinking away from the front like, oh, man, how could you have not thought this was a bad idea? Because you could see everyone. It's a small crowd, You're looking out in the crowd, and you're like, no clash of the Titans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, like, he's putting the mic right in people's faces, and they're just like,
dude, I know. I have dreams of that. Like I have dreams that
brutal.
I would step up and be like the one who knew everything. But it's like, yeah, it's hard when you're thrown in the position to do it too. Plus the pressure fucking makes you crack.
And not having the lyrics in your ears. I mean, I'm not like I don't know. There's like certain songs I definitely like. I think Public Enemy, Run DMC, and like a lot of Tribe Called Quest songs. I probably know all the lyrics to them, but like. That's just because they're pretty simple lyrics. When you get into like the Wu-Tang or Nas or, stuff I've listened to like De La Soul.
Big Pun.
Like, no way, man. Like, are you kidding me? There's no way I could like crack off a De La. I listened to so much De La Soul when I was a kid, but I can't. There's no way I could do a verse without the lyrics.
Yeah, there's also another thing about like, you might know all the lyrics while it's playing, but then, later on you're like, damn. And then sometimes I gotta here's the thing. It's like, I'll Google shit that I've been saying forever and it's wrong. Like, I'm like, oh, damn, I thought this word was this thing. But, yeah, man, yeah, I would be embarrassed. But I always used to think that too. Like when I was a kid, I'd go to like the House of Blues and be like whatever, I'll go see Pennywise and think that day like their drummer fucking broke his arm or something, and they're like, does anybody here play drums? And then I'd be like, me, and step up and fucking rock this shit. There's actually a great video of Dave Grohl gives the guitar to some kid with like Kiss makeup on, and the kid fucking shreds, dude. He plays like I think he plays Monkey Wrench with them, and he fucking kills it. And I was like, damn,
that is sick.
Yeah, it's a good.
That is sick.
Yeah, it's so dope, man. It's I don't know where they're at, but it's this long-haired metalhead kid. He's either got a Kiss shirt on or Kiss makeup, but he rocks it, dude. And it's like, it's pretty dope, dude.
I think there's a video somewhere on YouTube of James Brown bringing Michael Jackson up on stage, and then Michael Jackson bringing Prince up, like super young Prince.
Shut up,
and
really?
Swear to God. And then Prince grabs the guitar, and then he's like, can I get the guitar or something? And then James Brown's like, what the fuck's going on? And he just starts destroying, like just goes on a guitar solo rampage.
Yeah, he's a great guitar
kills
player,
it.
man. It's
Yeah,
funny
he's
because
a great guitar- he's dead. I don't know if you heard, Joel, but
oh
Prince
man,
died.
this is breaking news right here. Wait, when did this happen?
I think we're gonna have to pause the video and come back.
Can we just start
All
this
right,
whole
we're back.
thing over
Joel's
again?
been crying.
We
Joel-
can start
I
this.
mean, tell us in the comments how you feel about this episode.
I mean,
What else?
I
Joel?
don't-
What, you were you planning on, how are you going to start the podcast? Let's just start it over, but like not start it over. So, what would you do differently? What were you are you planning on stuff? I mean,
No, I mean I
think
got
it's
some
going-
notes here. It's funny because I last week I talked about going to that church, that hip hop thing, and afterwards I got a text from a friend who was there the first night that when the hip hop thing was going on, and he texted me. The names have been replaced to preserve the innocent, but so let's just say a friend that was there that night. He said, "You didn't tell them you almost started a riot in there on our first night."
well, how did you almost start the riot?
Okay, so it's like interesting because I don't remember a lot of the details.
You're
but
on ecstasy. You're
no,
on,
no,
were
no.
you
This
drinking
was
it?
this was the week before
a
the
week
ecstasy.
before,
This was when we just showed up. I might have
Okay.
been like maybe smoked weed or something. But I don't think I was
Okay.
really like drinking at the time. I didn't really start drinking till after I was like 21. I was like a weed head. Like I used to shit on people who were like drinking. I'd be like, what? Why do you guys want to get like sick? Like why don't you just get high, dude? Like but so I was like a super weed advocate. But we went to this thing. I was young, man, but I remember there was this girl there, and all I did was ask her if she was there alone. That was it. I was like, "Yo, did you come here here by yourself?" Apparently, she did not, and she was there with some dude who she was dating who had just gotten out of military school. And one thing people don't tell you about military school is like they send bad kids there and teach them
Right.
fucking military shit. So they come back deadlier probably than when they went into the fucking military school. So her boyfriend had just gotten out of military school. He was there with her, and I guess he sees me talking to her or something. And but the cool thing was I was there with a group of friends, and so I start seeing like static popping off like around like in my peripheral, right? Like I don't know if the guy wanted to come like start shit with me, and my friends saw it and were like, he didn't even get near me, but it's this whole like squabble happens like inside the thing, and they start like he steps to my friends and they like step up to him, and I'm like completely outside of it. Luckily, like I look back and I'm like, there were a few instances where I could have gotten the shit kicked out of me, and the person didn't even get near me because my friends like stepped up, so that was it. So this whole like thing happened in the church, and like later on it was funny because I ended up staying in that church and ended up making friends with this dude. Like we talked about it and stuff, and we were just this group of outsiders who like came to this event, and I guess
you became friends with the military school kid?
yeah, not friends, but we were
Oh.
cool, like we talked
knew-
about
yeah.
it. Yeah, he was like, "Yo, my bad, like that night, just whatever." And I also don't know what happened outside my sort of like. All I did was ask the girl if she was there alone. I guess I was like,
he probably had bad experiences. Like she probably fucked any dude that asked her if she was there alone. She probably fucked. So
no. He was
he's
probably
butthurt.
honestly he was probably just an insecure fucking dude who was like, "Oh, this guy's talking to my girlfriend. Let me like posture up or whatever." But so
what
that
if he had like PTSD? What if he had just come back from Iraq and like
military
he-
school
he-
Iraq? No.
You heard
No.
you said, "Are you here alone?" And all he heard was.
Fair enough.
He's
Fair
like,
enough. Yeah. He
Was
just
it like
snapped.
was it like that?
No,
Was it
I don't
something
know.
Like that? Was he like
I for the most part I stayed out of a lot of like squabbles, but I did have a lot of friends around me who would not like back down from beef, whatever. But
Yeah, me too.
So that was cool. So that whatever, and then it ended up being, but I guess whatever. So he heard me tell the story, and he's like, "You totally left out this whole." It got sort of tense in the room for a bit. I would say maybe I was with maybe like four 4 or 5 people, and then he had his like 4 or 5, and they were whatever, and it ended up being fine later. But I in the what would you say, in the vein of staying honest and keeping history and stuff real, I just thought I'd fucking share that. But another time,
you're a home wrecker. You're a home wrecker, Joel.
no, whatever. Nothing even happened. I didn't even whatever. Ended up being friends with the girl and the
That's
dude.
not what I heard. I heard you were like, "Yo, you here alone?" And she's like, "No, I'm here with my boyfriend. He's in the military." And you were like, "Man, the military's for fucking pussies, man.
Nah. Fuck what you heard, man.
I'll fucking do way more push-ups than that bitch ass. Can you do a backflip off a drum?
That was
How about a
years
drum off?
Look at these arms, dude. I think I got to maybe 10, 20 push-ups at a certain point, but I'm not, strong man by any stretch. Another time,
backflips? How many backflips in a row?
There's a funny story that that sort of connects to friends sort of having my back, but also doing weird shit. Was they used to do a lot of backyard gigs, like in LA, like East Los has like a really big backyard scene, but also like Silver Lake and I don't know, just the surrounding areas would do all these sort of shows. And I remember one year on 4th of July there was a backyard gig called Freedom Fest, which was just a bunch of fucking local metal bands and stuff like that playing, and is basically just a backyard where everybody, cholos and punks and metalheads would hang out, smoke weed, and drink 40s of fucking OE and stuff like that, or 211. And I remember going because a buddy of mine was playing bass in some band, and there was a lot of fireworks there, and I decided I was gonna shoot skyrockets out of my butt, and so I call attention to the whole backyard gig, and I'm like, yo, whatever, and I shot a skyrocket out of my butt, and it was a hit, man, and everybody was excited. And then a few minutes later, I'm just talking to a buddy over in the corner, and some guy comes up to me, grabs me by the shirt, throws me up against a fence, and he's gonna hit me. And he thought I threw an egg at him. And I didn't throw the egg, but I guess someone threw an egg at him, and he turned around and saw me laughing at something completely unrelated. I wasn't even laughing at the egg hitting him, but he thought because I was laughing that I was the guy who threw it. So he grabs me by the shirt, throws me up against the thing, and I was like, he's about to fuck me up. And my buddy Ernest, big dude, big Filipino dude with a fucking afro, looks like he was like at the time in high school was big. It looked like he was a fucking Booyah Tribe member or something. Grabbed the dude and fucking yanked him off, and bam, and him and this other dude I knew at the time were like, yo man, what the fuck are you doing? Totally had my back. But so I guess it just reminded me, because a couple times now I've escaped having the shit kicked out of me because I had friends sort of back me up at the time. But whatever.
Tell me more about shooting bottle rockets out of the backside.
Yeah.
What? Wait,
yeah.
What? You just kind of glanced over that.
What do you want to know? Do you have any specific questions?
Was that your first time? Was that your first time doing it?
Yeah, and I'll tell you
YouTube. There's no YouTube tutorials. Whose idea was that? Was that yours?
Yeah, I guess they tell you don't try stuff at home, but the Jackass stuff and Tom Green and all that. That shit was hot at the time, and I was an attention whore, dude. That's why I'm a comic now. It's I am definitely. So the shit that's the stuff I do in the drum battles, the sparklers I've used, fireworks, all that. I wanted attention, and I wasn't in a band that was playing that show that night. So I was like, how can I make this about me? And so,
had you seen anyone do it? Had you seen anyone?
I must have,
Right,
or, a thing we used to do, you would put them bottle rockets, you would put them in a bottle and shoot them. But then I remember more sort of crazy dudes holding them, and you light them and you hold them.
Hold them in your hand, yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks because the sparkles that fly off them hurt your hand for a little bit, but then it fucking takes off and it's cool.
Or you time it so right when it's about to go, you chuck it up in the air.
Yeah.
You ever do that?
And so
then it spins and kind of goes. It could go towards you or whatever.
And so I had done that. I had done that a few times, and I was like, okay. And then the Jackass thing, I maybe I saw it somewhere, but maybe I was just like, I've held it in my hand. Why not hold it in my butt cheeks, you know? And so I put it in my ass. My friends lit it, and I remember
do
like,
you put it in your ass?
okay, so this takes a little bit of clarification. I put it between my butt cheeks, not like in. So think like hot dog bun, not bottle, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I had it, and dude, it was as successful as it could have gone. It fucking went off. Whatever. There's always like a few like people like that are gonna hate. They're gonna be that fool's gay or whatever. Like fuck that fool. What a bitch. Or oh fuck that. I hate that fool or whatever they said. But like you know, like I've always done, I do things for the.
Hey, what the fuck's that dude doing a fucking bottle rocket in his fucking ass without telling me first, man?
That's
what
right.
the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't want to see that shit. Hey,
exactly.
Hey, bottle rocket ass boy. Hey, ass boy.
Bottle rockin' ass boy. That's next podcast.
Bottle rockin' ass boy.
I gotta remind myself. I gotta say it's AKA Bottle Rockin' Ass Boy.
Next time you fucking do that bottle rocket ass shit, you better fucking tell us.
Yeah, so I remember seeing a few faces that were like kind of like fuck this dude, like that's fucking, you know, whatever, that's gay or whatever. So
fucking bottle rocket ass boy, man. You got to tell people. You got to warn people.
But here's the thing, I didn't do it for those guys. I did it for the people that were like, fuck yeah, dude. So like whatever, so I did it, and it was like definite like a moment. It was dope. And this is what happened. So
was the band playing? Was the band playing?
No, this was like during like they would switch out bands, right? Like my buddy had to I was the intermission entertainment.
You're the Zamboni. You're the Zamboni.
Yeah, dude. Zambloni. So whatever. So the next week, I still had like skyrockets left, and my cousins are over, and I'm like, yo, you guys want to see something cool, right? So we go out to the middle of the street. And I attempted it again. This time did not go well, okay? I had been at the beach all day, so I don't know if, like, my butt cheeks were stickier because of, like, sand or seawater or whatever, or maybe I clenched. But so they lit it, and the fuse is about to go, and I'm like, oh, it's not shooting, dude. It's not shooting. So it explodes, dude, like while it's in my butt cheeks. It explodes like you know, on me. And I was wearing these like cheap like liquor store boxers that are probably like 98% polyester, right? There's like no cotton to be fucking seen. And it melted a hole in these boxers, and then it melted a hole in my ass, dude, on my butt cheek.
Wow.
And left like, I think like in Spanish, like you would call it like a pachichi is like, I don't really know the translation, but it's basically like a blister, and it made a blister on my ass cheeks like about that big. And the melted the polyester, like the plastic in the boxers and stuff, like was like, you know, left a black circle around the blister on my ass. And that time it did not go well, and I did it in front of my cousins, like and it was like,
oh
yeah,
man.
so second time not too well. I don't know if I like clinched because I was nervous or if my butt was just more sticky. So I think if I were to do it again, I would probably lube up the stick and make sure to not like grab, like just relax, you know.
Of course you're gonna do it again. We're gonna post a video in our Patreon. I don't know if people know.
You know what? I would do it for the Patreon.
We're doing it for the Patreon.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's sketchy.
We're gonna get a big one though. Not even a bottle rocket.
Fuck you! No, dude. Nah, we gotta be safe. But now I look back and
these people give up money, man. These people are supplying us with, you know, they're just giving us you know, we're going to have money in the Patreon, you know? I don't know, not that much right now. So we should just buy any firework. We should take all the Patreon money
an
from this
M80. Yo, put a stick of dynamite.
No, it has to shoot. You know, but a big one, but a nice one. Like
Roman candles.
Like Roman candles ain't shit, though.
Yeah, my friends used to shoot those at each other, too, man. Yeah, you know, light them and shoot them. That reminds me, when we were, like, young, like, maybe 12, 13, we would get lighters and hairspray, and, like, if somebody, we would chase each other around with them, like, flamethrowers. And I remember my buddy being asleep, and we just, like, singed all the fucking hair on his legs. They just got like, but then that reminds me, dude. Like, so my old friend, right? Like Robert. Shout out to Hot Bob Hot Sauce. Give them a follow. when we were kids, man, like we spent a lot of time together, but like I was at his house one time. We were chasing each other around or something, and I don't remember what happened, but we talk about this a lot. I remember like turning the corner, and Robert had this. It was Brute. Do you remember that brand Brute? Like Brut. It was like they made spray deodorant.
Yeah.
Robert fucking maces me with the Brute deodorant. And we talk about it to this day. I go, why would you do that? And like I was just like, it was burning. And to this day, he's like, I don't know why I did that. He's like, but yeah, it just maced me with the Brute deodorant. But we laugh at that. Some kids are stupid, dude.
Oh,
like,
kids are crazy. When I was a kid, I lived with my sister for a while.
Yeah.
I was 16. I think I was 16, and she was already living on her own with her husband. And while I was living there, they divorced. So he was gone. He just took off, and she was like just gone fucking around. So it would just be me and my friends just living there. We would eat like Kentucky Fried Chicken stuffing, and it was a crack house. It was a crack house, and we had a rule that if you passed out with your shoes on, anything goes. You could draw on the person. You could write on the people. You could put shaving cream on their face. You put huge globs of shaving cream on their hands. Itch their face. Yeah. And there was a fucking one time someone put shaving cream on someone's face or something, or I forget what it was, honey in their hair, something, and they woke up and they chased this dude around my apartment with a pot of boiling potatoes. It's only it's a small 2-bedroom apartment, and the dude ran into the bathroom. And then the other dude, he shut the bathroom door, but he didn't lock it right away. And the other dude with the potatoes kicked down the door, just completely kicked the bathroom door off the hinges. And then the dude jumped in the shower, and there was like one of those double glass doors. And the dude just like basically smashed the doors off the hinges as well, and threw the pot of boiling potatoes on this dude in the shower. Yeah, it was nuts.
Was he okay?
He got burned. I don't know. He lived, but he was like,
yeah, it's funny. Now that I'm older, I go like, that's my first thought is like, is everybody all right? Where like before I didn't give a I used to backyard wrestle and shit. Like my mom would walk and be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like broken glass.
Did you guys cut yourselves?
No, I had like I would always hide fake blood and stuff. Sometimes you would get cut, but like, here's a funny story. This I shouldn't preface stories by saying it's funny, but I remember this dude in the neighborhood was like saying like, it's fake. You got that shit's just fake, man. And I remember going like, oh yeah, it's fake. It's fake. And I made him come to my house, climb up a ladder, do a flip off the ladder, and like what are they, headboards on a bed? Like, the thing at the thing. It was a metal headboard that was sort of like, it had like metal bars, and I laid the metal bars on like a mattress. I made him flip off the thing into the do a flip or like would jump onto it somehow, land and he did it, and I was like, does that feel fake? Does that feel fake? And I was like, it's just dumb shit. Like I didn't make him. That sounds crazy. Now I look back at it like forcing somebody to do that. But he was like,
I could do that. He's like, I could do that. That ain't shit.
Something like that. Yeah, now I feel bad. Now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, I forced him. But these were like kids in the hood who were like, people were fighting all the time or like bullying people, and I think I finally just had it, and I was like, oh yeah, if it's fake, fucking do this. Like, tell me it's fake, man. Tell me that's fake. And
do you have any of those matches on video? Did you guys video?
A friend of mine said he's like trying to get them, man, because he's got.
I think
we
had
a
this
few
conversation
on video. Yeah, we did it on one of the. We're gonna drop them eventually as like bonus episodes. So sometimes I'm like, did I fucking talk about stuff twice? Do you think that's problematic? Like me, like making somebody do something like that? Do you think that that's like something that's? I was a kid. I feel bad about it.
No,
I don't know. Whatever. So I made him jump off the ladder into the. But you know what? I also did it. If that makes it any better, I remember like, I didn't have him do anything that I wouldn't do myself, but
I don't think you could force someone to do a flip off of a fucking ladder. It's not like you forced him to like eat a fucking cockroach or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't even know if I made him do the flip. I think I just had him be like, I was like, yeah, man, jump. Tell me if it's fake. And now that it's like one of those things that you have those weird memories that I remember seeing this Radio Lab thing about memory and how like we think of memory as like a Rolodex, but it's really not. It's every time you have a memory, it's like a creative thing. And so I'm looking back and wondering if like if he didn't jump and he was like, no, I'm not gonna do that, and then I was like, oh yeah, see, you won't jump, like it's not. I don't know. Now I'm like wondering if my memory is like fucking even right about these fucking things, but I don't know. Well, shout out to that guy. And if I did that, I guess you're right. I can't make. He ended up doing it. I didn't like hold a
Right.
gun to the dude's head, but whatever. You know, if you felt like that, I'm sorry.
Who knows?
but,
Maybe he's like, maybe he's a powerful CEO, and he's like, my whole life changed when this fucking kid forced me to do a flip off this ladder, and I realized how powerful doing things is. He said, I gained so much confidence in myself when I realized, damn, I can flip off a ladder onto a metal headboard. I can do anything. And now he's like the powerful CEO of.
Now I'm like, I don't remember, but I think like I remember feeling like not bullied, but sort of like pressed in the moment, and I was like, okay, yeah, you think it's fake? Like maybe I felt powerless in that moment because he was like, like you're. I don't know what the fuck. Now that I look back at it, I'm like. I'm trying to like really remember the thing, but I remember.
Yeah,
being
memories
like,
are weird. Memories are strange. It's hard to like really.
Yeah, but now that I look back
you
at it,
think
I'm like,
back on people,
if I did sort of do that, I sort of feel like whatever. But I don't know. That's weird. See, that's another thing in my head. I'm like, we need to cut that because it's a thing of like forcing someone to do something they didn't want to do.
That's that Catholic guilt. That's that Catholic guilt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel like you did something wrong. I didn't hear anything wrong.
It's
You're
funny
forcing
how
me
like
to do this. You don't feel bad about it.
well, I thought we were a team here. Yeah, I don't know. How long have we been going? Just for reference.
We're at an hour.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird, man. Yeah, but also it's like, what am I gonna fucking lie and pretend like I've been a good, fucking great person my whole life?
No.
Like I did dumb shit
not.
as a kid. I feel fucking awful about a lot of it. And a lot of that shit, sometimes it's fucking, all I can do is keep it moving and try to be fucking.
You don't have to feel awful about being a kid, man. Kids, there's no good kids in the world, and if they are, what the fuck's their problems,
Yeah, they seem even crazier, man.
Exactly. Those perfect kids, they're the worst, probably.
I got some notes just real quick, and then we'll get out of here. I got a couple things. I've been sort of like thinking a lot about the whole like the Aunt Jemima or like the fucking Uncle Ben's rice thing. How like people are, I get like people are. I get that it's not the change people are asking for. People want equality, and I guess I'm fumbling my words here because I have a problem with the people that have a problem with them changing that. They're like, come on, man, you're going to change Aunt Jemima? Like, are you going to change Uncle Ben's? Like, how am I going to eat breakfast ever again? And I'm like, yo, who gives a fuck? Eat the syrup, dude. Like, you really, these are your idols that you want to hold on to? Like, whatever. Like, they'll even be like, yeah, I heard that the family of Aunt Jemima. It's like, all right, that's a different issue. Why do you have a problem with them changing the fucking Aunt Jemima syrup to like just a plain syrup thing? Like, you're still gonna eat the fucking syrup, so shut up.
The syrup is garbage anyway. It's disgusting. It's just
but even
sugar.
that, like, you're not gonna eat it if it just comes in a plain plastic syrup container. Like, eat the fucking syrup. Does it mean that much to you? It's gotta be Uncle Ben's rice. Like, you're not gonna eat the fucking rice if it doesn't have like. Who gives a fuck, man? If the shit's offensive to some people and they don't want it, like, don't fucking let's change it, man. Why can't we do better, dude? Like, that leads me to the next thing about like, I've been sort of. And I'm not the word police. Like, if someone says a word, they're a buddy of mine, I'll figure out a way to have that conversation about them. I'm not saying anybody shouldn't say certain things, whatever. That's a case-by-case basis, But I stopped fucking saying certain things because I don't want human beings to feel bad. Like, if it bugs them, all right, I'll give you that. Like, there are how many? And I meant to research this. There are gotta be thousands of words in the English language. There's more in other languages. There are more words being created all the time, right? Like fucking different things, bootylicious and bling are in the fucking dictionary now. Like, we are evolving language all the time, and you want to get hung up because of a couple of fucking words, man. Like, whatever. You know, you can't say that one. It's like, fucking sorry, boo-hoo. You can't. No one's saying you can't, but maybe inside you should say I shouldn't. You know, like it's there's that line in Jurassic Park where he's like, you guys spent so much time wondering if you could, you didn't stop to think if you should. It's like, let's fucking think if we should say these things. You know, I hear people bitching all the time about pronouns, you know, trans pronouns, queer pronouns, you know, human pronouns. It's like, they're like, oh, I don't know which pronoun they're using. Today's Tuesday. I can't keep track of all this shit. It's changing every day. It's like, okay, there's more multiplication tables that you had to learn in school than there are pronouns. So you learn those. So let's fucking learn these. Like, who cares, man? If it makes somebody feel better, let's give them the dignity of being a human being. And it's not that hard, dude. Like, let's just be good people and stop making people feel like shit. Like, I don't get this like already at 10 perspective of like, I can't learn all the what is it today? What is it? Is it this? Is it that? It's like, yeah, maybe it is. Like, and you know what? A lot of trans friends that I've had are fucking cool as long as you're showing that you're trying to learn or whatever it is, man. People of color, but like, I'll be cool, man. Like, if somebody says something fucked up that I think is fucked up and they're my friend, I'm not going to just like shoot that person in a field immediately. I'm going to stop and have that conversation. And I found that with my queer friends, with gay friends, with transgender friends, with black friends, as long as you're trying to learn, they will have those conversations, and we can be better as people. They're not gonna fucking execute you for making a mistake. You can always catch yourself. But just stop. Honestly, this is it. Just stop being a baby over like these fucking. You have so many words to choose from, man. Like, stop being hung up about a couple of them. Even if it was, say, 100 words that we were trying to fucking figure out, 100 out of thousands ain't shit, dude. It's a drop in the bucket. Let's give people their fucking dignity and let's treat people with respect. And I'm just sick of the fucking like, I can't say this, I can't say that. It's like, maybe start thinking about if you should say that stuff. And that was just something I wanted that's been on my mind for a few weeks now. I really wanted to put out there. So, you know, let's fucking do better, man.
It sounds like the mask thing as well, you know. It's just like, wear a fucking mask. I don't understand it, you know. I really don't. And I've heard every angle of it. None of it do I give a fuck about. None of it do I care about. I don't give a fuck what you say. Like, oh, masks don't work. All right, put a mask on and try to fucking spit on me. Guess what? You can't do it. So it works. Wow, what a miracle. Oh, but it doesn't stop the virus. But these are the same people who say the virus isn't even that bad, or it's not real, or
whatever.
It's part of like part of the election cycle. It's just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't care what you think. You know. But they also believe that it was built in a lab. You know, it was man-made in a lab, but it's not that bad. It barely kills anybody, and it's a hoax, and it's the media is overhyping. Well, which is it, man? Like, which one of those fucking things is it, man? It really can't be all those things. It really can't.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, think about where like something like, let's just again, hip hop. It's like something that is so based on lyricism, where that would be if they only used the same fucking 5 words every single time. It's like, you know. Think about this as like a creative experiment. Like start you know, it's funny because I was talking to you about this. I watched this documentary and they interviewed like Klan members. I have never seen a Klan member be interviewed where I was like, wow, what an enlightened, eloquent fucking human being. It's always like it's in a box, man. Even their like speech is in a box. Like, I want to just like on a positive note, like, language is so colorful, man, and there's so many like beautiful turns of phrases and ways that we can say things. Let's start doing that. Let's stop holding on to these fucking things of like, oh, I can't say this word, I can't say that word. It's like, well, I'm sure you could find get a fucking thesaurus. That's it. Let's start fucking
and
like
think
expanding.
about your core beliefs. Think about your core beliefs, like what you really fucking believe. Think about your core fucking beliefs, man. You know, just think about it. Think about thinking. Yeah. I think that's like the number one thing. You know, if you want to be a critical thinker, you have to think about how people think. Think about how you think. What influences you? Where do you get your ideas from?
Yeah.
You know?
And I do
Why
that
are you
sometimes
so stubborn
to
against that stuff.
sometimes I do it to a detriment. I'll be too understanding of other people's perspectives, you know. And I do, and I will give people that thing also of like, I understand where you grew up or this and that, but at a certain point you gotta have your own thoughts, man. And I've been doing a lot of that the last few months. Is like I've always said, and I'll say it again on this show, it's like figuring out what I truly believe for myself, and not just saying stuff that I've heard. But yeah, man, so there's that, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Just been thinking about that a lot. So let's try to all do better, man. We're all in this fucking together. Next week we'll have a new mic. Shout out to fucking Hot Bob Hot Sauce. I wanted to give a kind of quick shout out to, this isn't like an official sponsor, but these companies have had my back since like the beginning. I just wanted to extend a little thank you for them for always that. I want to reach out to them eventually and see if they want to help us out in a more formal thing. But Luca Clothing and Tie Dye Company, they've fucked with me since before any of this stuff, before a lot of people knew who the fuck I was. And so check them out on Instagram. They didn't, pay me for this. They've always had my back and sent me stuff, and I really like those guys. I love those guys actually for it's funny because I said like, and I was like, that doesn't really encompass how I feel. I really, I love those guys for having my back when nobody gave a fuck about me. So check them out on Instagram. So we got a Patreon. We're gonna do another Mostly Sopranos episode. So we'll have that up soon. And another thing, I guess I'll just break it. Fuck it, right? I've been working on a 3-song sort of. I guess you can't call it an EP because I think an EP is supposed to be like 30 minutes. So I'm gonna eventually put it out. I think I'm gonna call it 3 for Free. So it's like sort of a rap, like a 3-song rap or hip hop or sort of like just songwriting thing that I'm working on. I did all the music in GarageBand on my iPhone. I mixed it all on my iPhone. I've been working on it through this quarantine. So everything from the beginning of the beat to the final mix, I did it all myself. And I think at the end of this podcast, we're gonna premiere this song I made called Keep It Moving. I was working on it during the first few months of quarantine, so it sort of reflects that. But I'm insecure about throwing out any sort of creative, is always worried about like how the world will perceive their art. I figured we've kind of curated a group of people that fuck with us, and I felt like you guys should be the first ones to hear it. So we'll premiere it at the end of this, and then eventually throw that first song up on the Patreon for people. And then when the album is out, I'll just release it for free for everybody. So do you have any final things you want to say, David? And then I'll send it over to the song.
I want to give a shout out to Kent from FTC in San Francisco. What's up, buddy? Support FTC. Support all your local skate shops. Kingswell in LA is a place I love. And yeah, man, I used to hang out at FTC all the time, and Kent just reached out to me on Instagram recently to say hi. So, support FTC SF. That's a really cool dude there. It's a real mom and pop shop, and just the shit.
They're for the children, man. FTC's for the children.
Damn
skate
straight.
shops are for the children, and fucking Joelberg is for the children. And there it is. Without any further ado, let's here it is. The fucking world premiere of fucking Mostly Sorry. Keep it moving. Peace.
We all want to help one another. We all want to help one another. We all want to help one another. We all want to help one another.
In deep thought as the time passes, I think not about the product, cause I'm caught up in these wine glasses. New batches of burnt matches, second chances, and at some point I'll pay my fucking taxes. Wanna live happy, not so goddamn stressed, but that's a goddamn stretch. I'm still so goddamn blessed. I gotta say it with my goddamn chest. I'm not playing, man, I'm staying in my goddamn nest. I'm a goddamn mess, doing my goddamn best. I'm so exhausted from the process of this goddamn test. So look inside, I'm gonna hide until it's over. Mind is getting weary, screaming, keep it moving, soldier. Gotta keep it, gotta keep it, gotta keep it, gotta keep it moving, gotta keep it, gotta keep it, gotta keep it. understand it when I'm older. Then I got older, feels like the planet's on my shoulders. It turns out that I'm burnt out more than I showed ya. Hurt more than I told you, not worth taking it slower, keep it moving. Man, I got so much pent up, my mind's replaying all the moments I could have stepped up. And time again they told me that I'd understand it. I guess that's not exactly how I planned it. So do what you gotta do to make it through, and do what you gotta do to make it you. Cause the years go by, I'm feeling more like myself. And honestly, this is the best that I've felt. So that's why I gotta keep it, gotta keep it, gotta keep it, gotta keep it moving, gotta keep it, gotta keep it, gotta keep it moving, gotta keep it moving, gotta keep it moving, gotta keep it moving.
We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live this way. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful.